Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. Just want to let you know about some of the top stories we're following right now, starting with this developing story that we are following out of Clayton County, where police are actively searching for a suspect who they say ran away during a traffic stop after pulling a gun. It happened on Upper Riverdale Road. That's where police tell us that they pulled a man over a little after 11:30 last night near Terra Boulevard by the Akana Lodge. And they asked the man to get out of his car. A spokesperson for Clayton County says once he did, he started running. And police say they then chased the man. And during that chase, officers say that this man pulled a gun from his waistband. Clayton County's police public information officer says that the man was shot. They did not make it clear if he was actually hit, but we know that no officers were hurt in this. Police tell us that they did find the gun at the scene of the chase. Police are telling us the investigation is ongoing at this time. They've not released a description of who they are looking for, but just do know that there is an active manhunt underway right now in Clayton County for this suspect following an officer-involved shooting. We're going to keep following the latest there. Also want to let you know about really a lot of tension and frankly controversy and drama surrounding the Chief Magistrate Judge of Fulton County, and then that specific position as well. So remember, we reported to you that earlier this week there were some calls by some commissioners for Judge Cassandra Kirk to resign. Obviously, there are people who are very supportive of her as well. But now there's a war waging within the Fulton County Commission, the Board of Commissioners, over whether or not this magistrate judge position, this chief magistrate judge position, should be an elected one or an appointed one. And right now, the current chief magistrate judge, Cassandra Kirk, has been elected twice. And now there's a push by some to change that to an appointed position. Others say, that there is a racial undertone to this. My colleague, Tori Cooper, has more.
Chief Magistrate Judge Cassandra Kirk was elected by voters back in 2015. But now, two commissioners no longer want her role to be decided on by voters.
It's just, hey, this hasn't worked, right? We had something that worked a whole lot better. This is a train wreck.
Vice Chairman of the Fulton County Board of Commissioners, Bob Ellis, believes state court judges should be the ones to appoint a judge to the Chief Magistrate Judge position because he believes Cassandra Kirk isn't keeping up with the caseload.
The jail population will grow. The jail population will grow.
Commissioner Dana Barrett is concerned Judge Kirk will eliminate or reduce the number of magistrate judges currently helping work on Superior Court cases.
And if she does that, per the judge's words, we are going to slow the criminal justice system down dramatically and increase the population in the jail.
It's a miscommunication.
But Judge Kirk says she never gave that ultimatum and is simply asking for funding to keep up with the caseload. Still, Dana Barrett wants Judge Kirk to resign.
She's wasting taxpayer resources.
Judge Kirk is not going anywhere.
Commissioner Khadijah Abdurrahman says many in the community think there's a racial component behind calls for Kirk's resignation. But Commissioner Ellis says he's against the current method that was created by a white Republican, and this isn't racial.
People try to paint this as sort of a racial issue. It was put forth by a white Republican legislature. So, try to paint this as some sort of race issue is that's a non-starter.
Again, my colleague Tori Cooper with that story. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the holiday travel that is coming up that everybody is preparing for right now. Airports all around the country expected to be very busy in the coming days, actually busier than ever before. According to AAA, American airports will process 7.5 million air travelers over the Christmas and New Year's travel period. That would surpass 2019's record, which was the highest ever. The good news is TSA just finished a big construction project at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport's main security checkpoint. So now all 18 lanes are open. They are fully staffed. That is significantly cutting down on the wait times. Obviously, if you're headed to the airport, do yourself a favor and reserve a parking spot ahead of time. That could save you some time, save you some money as well. Department of Transportation keeping an eye on the potential for bad weather this holiday period as well, which we're going to talk a little bit about because that agency reminding people, travelers, that you do have rights as an airline passenger. If your flight is canceled and you choose to cancel your whole trip because of it, you are entitled to a refund for the unused transportation, even for non-refundable tickets. You also get as well any baggage fee that you paid, you would get that. You're entitled to a refund for any other extras that you purchase, including seat assignments. If you are driving out for the holidays, the busiest days on the roads, expected to be Saturday, December 23rd, and then next Thursday, December 28th, according to some transportation data. AAA saying best time for you to hit the road is before 10 a.m. on Saturday. Best time for you to head back is noon on either December 26th or 27th. And, obviously it's all about preparation.
Oh yeah, that's not bad at all compared to what I've seen before. So
Yeah, you've probably seen the line go way back in the day.
definitely.
You got here plenty early.
We did. We were up very early this morning to get here.
Yeah, so there, our Rebecca Schramm had just interviewed some travelers at the airport, and obviously they're saying that the lines are not as bad as they've seen in the past, but again, it's so much about timing. Okay, let's talk about, road travel as well. So many people expected to hit the roads, of course. Well, the Georgia Department of Transportation is now suspending temporarily lane closures along Georgia interstates, major state routes and roadways. So this suspension is going to begin tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. again, and it's going to extend through 10 p.m. on Tuesday, December 26th, to help, with the travel situation. In addition, GDOT is predicting today will be one of the busiest days on the road. So if you are headed to visit family or go on vacation, expect some moderate to heavy traffic this afternoon around Metro Atlanta. After today, traffic is expected to be fairly light, but this is just kind of lets you plan ahead a little bit. All right, let's show you a live look outside. It's a beautiful day out there, at least warmer than it has been.
Here's
is. Meteorologist Cutter Martin with more on that.
Yeah, we started out a little cold this morning, but compared to the past several mornings, it beats the upper teens, lower 20s. Some of our north side neighborhoods waking up to temperatures that cold, but again, already noticing a bit of a warming trend out there, and it will only grow milder over the next few days. So again, pretty decent weather on the way. Thank you for tuning in and for watching. I am First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here with a check of your First Alert forecast, and we are tracking first a warm-up, more clouds on the way, and then a greater chance of rain returning to the forecast as we get into, unfortunately, timing-wise, as we get into the kind of first part of our Christmas day, and really rain could linger throughout a good portion of the day. Before we talk about the rain chance and that first alert for Christmas Day, let's get to current temperatures, give you a quick update of what's going on this morning, and then we'll dive into the details regarding that rain chance as we get into our Christmas Day and perhaps lingering at least an isolated chance of rain just a little bit deeper into our holiday kind of week, the 26th and the 27th. Outside right now, temperatures are chilly. It is still cold in some areas, but milder than it has been, and that is kind of the trend here. We're going to see temperatures gradually warm over the next few days. Milder mornings are ahead, but for the time being, it is still pretty chilly out there with temperatures still in the 30s and 40s. Again, it is going to be kind of a cold stretch here for the next couple of hours, and then gradually warming up as we get into the kind of mid-morning time frame beyond now. It's 10 a.m. It's still technically mid-morning, but especially by 11 a.m. late morning, noon, is when temperatures will really start to jump up. 36 in LaGrange right now, 34 in Blairsville, 45 in Gainesville, 42 in Athens. Temperatures in the mid-upper 30s from Rome down to Carrollton, at 38 in Locust Grove. So it's possible, if you're in the shade, could be a little bit of frost out there for portions of the area, especially if you're in the shade and especially if you're in one of these colder spots. But if you don't like the cold weather, if you're waiting on a warm-up, promise there is one on the way. In fact, we can kind of get to that trend or that change in the first alert forecast Let's start with the hour by hour. Warming up pretty quickly today. Now that the sun is up, the air is very dry. That's why we haven't seen all that much frost the past few mornings. Certainly it has been cold enough for it to form, but the air itself has been so dry. We just haven't had much dew, and because there hasn't been much dew, there hasn't been much frost. Temperatures rebound from the upper 40s at 11 a.m. So we're going to jump up another few degrees here in the city of Atlanta, and then jump up even further, getting into the early afternoon hours. 56 by 1 p.m. in Atlanta. 59 by 3 p.m. back into the mid-50s by 5, and then we're sliding back into the upper 40s and lower 50s for your evening plans. Certainly it will be chilly out there, still cold enough for a light jacket or maybe something a little heavier if you're not necessarily a fan of the cold weather, but still warmer than it has been the past couple of days, so that is good news for those that are really tired of the chilly condition and ready for changes on the way. I want to remind you, we are streaming across many platforms right now at Atlanta News First on YouTube, atlantanewsfirst.com, the Atlanta News First app, First Alert Weather app, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, so many places. And while we are streaming on all of those platforms, YouTube is the place to be if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns. If you do need any of those addressed, especially in regards to the forecast for Christmas Day, YouTube, Atlanta News First. Give us a like and a follow. You don't even have to subscribe, though, to watch this live feed and to ask your weather questions, address any comments, concerns that you have with the First Alert forecast. So with that said, let's talk big picture here. We're going to kind of bring up what we're watching for Christmas, kind of the weather headlines and the changes expected over the next few days. Trending warmer. We just talked about that, afternoons and mornings alike, especially as we get into the weekend. Dry through the rest of the work week and on into the weekend, despite rounds of cloud cover in the First Alert forecast. Especially, I think, as we get into the latter half of today, a bout of cloud cover tonight and Friday morning. Then maybe Friday afternoon, a little bit more clearing, a little bit more sunshine, and then we'll be watching more clouds moving back into the picture Saturday evening, Saturday night, and especially Christmas Eve, Sunday. While it will be dry, yes, it is looking breezy, it is looking milder, and it is looking much cloudier for our Christmas Eve. Not the prettiest of Christmas Eves, but hey, could be worse. And the weather actually will get a little bit worse as we get into Christmas Day. First Alert, widespread rain is in the First Alert forecast, and it may be locally heavy. Some good news here, some extra tidbits for you. It does look like the risk of severe weather, non-existent in North Georgia. It'll be hard to even get much thunder and lightning. But if travel plans bring you further south, maybe down to the I-10 corridor or portions of the Gulf Coast, portions of Texas in the days leading up to Christmas, there, the risk of rain, heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and maybe an isolated severe storm or two will be greater. So just keep that in mind. Locally, risk isn't really there, but regionally, down along the Gulf Coast, could be a strong storm or two in the First Alert forecast. But for us, it's the rain we're alerting you to. First Alert rain certainly could impact some of those outdoor plans. It probably will have you remaining indoors. Of course, Christmas is one of those holidays where a lot of people are inside anyway, but some also do tend to go outside. Think about Christmas Day with your young kiddos getting new gifts, the bicycles, the scooters, those sorts of things. Going to have to probably wait until Tuesday to get those out on the street before you can really enjoy better weather on the way. And here's the culprit. Here's what we're watching as far as Christmas weather impacts. An area of low pressure right now moving into the desert southwest from off of the west coast. A closed area of low pressure, pretty strong storm system. In fact, they've had flash flooding in the Los Angeles metro today. They've had tornado warnings earlier, so an impactful storm system. And do notice that even ahead of this First Alert, this storm system, it's already having an impact on the southern plains, and technically it's already having an impact on our forecast. Those clouds that you see up in the sky today, a signal of wetter weather to come and a signal of that storm system and a hint from Mother Nature that more significant changes are on the way. But again, you can see rain is already falling across portions of Texas, so if you do have any plans traveling to the southern plains, the big airport hubs there, of course, Dallas, Houston, Austin. If you're flying out of New Orleans, trying to get further west, those areas already dealing with a little bit of rain. Just simply worth keeping an eye on the forecast, as rain is already impacting portions of Texas. And for us, it is going to be more of a Christmas Eve and a Christmas Day impact, especially if you're flying out, but if you're driving regionally as well. Atlanta, Jacksonville, Charlotte, if you're driving to Birmingham on Christmas Day, or Christmas Eve into Christmas Day if you're traveling west, that rain will already be in the forecast. Rain will already be falling across much of the region. As far as rainfall amounts, this is looking like a beneficial rain event for two reasons in particular. kind of three, actually. Widespread, number one. Number two, significant rainfall totals. Number three, it's not all going to fall at once and then run off into our rivers. It's going to be a soaking rain, light to moderate over the period of several hours, and then there could be a period or two, a shorter duration of maybe a heavier round of rain or two across the area. This is a look at several forecast models. Again, some of our forecast models only going out to about midday, mid-afternoon or so Sunday. That's why they're at the bottom of that scale, but the two models that go out far enough, aka, mid-afternoon Monday, Christmas Day, they're already bringing rainfall totals up to about 7/10 of an inch on the European model, nearly 1.5 inches on the GFS model, and we're just now getting into range. I think by this time tomorrow when we chat at 10 a.m., these forecast models will not only go through Christmas Eve, but the entirety of Christmas Day, and we'll probably see both models' rainfall totals begin to increase, looking at easily 1/2 inch to 1 inch in many areas, and I think several spots we'll see more than 1 inch, perhaps up to 2 inches. So looking like a pretty good rain event, and we do need the rain at this point, that is for sure, and we'll continue to be keeping an eye on the details regarding this storm system, beneficial rain, widespread rain, but the risk of severe weather is very, very low. So really, yes, it will impact your Christmas Day, especially if you have outdoor plans, but it could be worse. We just wanted to give you the first alert, let you know that, hey, it's going to rain for a large portion, if not all of Christmas Day, and it could begin as early as before you wake up Christmas morning, and I would say at the latest it'll start 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning across Metro Atlanta. Really a one-and-done sort of scenario here. Yeah, it's all day Monday, but it is Monday, Christmas Day, and then after that we're going to start to dry out, eventually cool off a bit as we get into the middle of next week. So watching the forecast for you, at this point, we're pretty confident, very confident in the First Alert Weather Team and the duration and the extent of rain on Monday, Christmas Day. Now it's about the details, exactly how much your neighborhood sees, the exact time it starts raining, the exact time it stops raining across North Georgia, your neighborhood in particular. And then as we get into that period, that week of, you kind of lose track of time and you're just having fun between Christmas Day and New Year's Eve, we could trend back colder once again, and that active weather pattern could continue beyond that 7, even beyond that 10-day forecast. So we'll be keeping you updated on any changes to the far extended portion of the forecast. Reminder, 10-day always available at atlantanewsfirst.com and in the First Alert Weather app. We'll also be keeping you updated on any alterations, any subtle changes to that Christmas forecast. Just want to thank you for watching. A reminder, First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez on TV here in just a little bit, about an hour and a half out here at Atlanta News First at noon. You can stream that coverage at atlantanewsfirst.com and in the First Alert Weather app. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Again, go outside, enjoy the sunshine, plenty of it. Just some more clouds around today ahead of what is shaping up to be a wetter Christmas. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez back with that full weather forecast starting at noon.